Hello, group. Welcome to Action Rock Corner. I'm your host, Richard May. Today, The Who, live at the Oval, 1971. Didn't know it was coming out. I'm sure the grandfathers with channels elsewhere was going on about this for ages before it came out, but I'm busy with my own stuff. So I look at my YouTube today, my YouTube new releases. There it is. And it's like, okay, let's see what this is. Because I'm a casual Who fan. I only own two? I guess so. I thought I had It's Hard here somewhere, per se. Of course I own Who's Next. And I own Live at Leeds. If you're a casual Who fan and you just want, the essentials, Who's Next, Live at Leeds. I had the Tommy soundtrack on 8-track when I had hair. I was still in school. So I saw the movie. That was like my first grown-up, let's go to the movie thing with teenagers older than me. I was barely a teenager. And my sister had to take me with her boyfriend. So we went to see the movie Tommy, which kind of freaked me out slightly. It was sophisticated. And Tina Turner, the acid queen. And Anne Margaret as Walter Daltrey's mother. See me, feel me, touch me, indeed. If Anne Margaret is your mother, hell yeah, sign me up. So, and of course I heard The Who on radio forever. And of course I don't listen to radio anymore. I own this stuff. I own stuff behind the camera, beside the camera. In other words, I own stuff. I own stuff because I don't want to listen to the radio playing the same bloody songs over again, the same day. No. And the same 5 or 6 Who songs. That's it. That's why I own a lot of physical media. Now it's not necessary anymore. It's on YouTube. Like this is. You can buy it physical, of course, and it's entirely worthwhile to own it physical. It is a stonking Who live set, and when the Who was still making their bones, because this is where the Who made their bones, where the Who became the Who, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, Tommy's great. The movie came after this, but the album for Tommy, and the stuff before Tommy, nice stuff. Classic stuff. But this is the first modern classic rock record. Anything before this, you can argue the point. But before Who's Next, the recording technology, the mixing, the producing is not up to classic rock standards. This was the first classic rock standard classic album. In its recording, I mean, yeah, the first two Led Zeppelin records are great, but their mix, the original mix, the original sound of those first two Led Zeppelin records doesn't hold a candle to this. The performances for the first two Led Zeppelin records, of course they do. But I'm getting sidetracked. We're here to talk about this. And the funny thing about this is, this recorded in 1971, this is a 1971 they're promoting Who's Next. Who's Next has 9 songs. They play 5 of the 9 songs from Who's Next. And they don't play Baba O'Reilly. That's right, Teenage Wasteland. They don't play that in this set. Of course, The Who does not have a keyboard player. So the 4 songs from Who's Next that has prominent keyboards, piano, keyboards, they left those behind. Song Is Over, Going Mobile, Get In Tune, not here. And Baba O'Reilly, not here. Yeah, there's that programming. It's not keyboards, programming, because they do play Won't Get Fooled Again. And Pete has introduced it because the crowd doesn't know the song yet, apparently. And pretty much they play Won't Get Fooled Again in the middle of the set. There are, forgive me for counting, 6 songs yet to the set, to the concert, of the 15 songs total, after Won't Get Fooled Again. No encore, because remember the classic Who trashed their instruments at the end of the show. They play you the announcer telling the crowd, there's going to be no encore. You see this stage? There's drums everywhere. And Pete trashes guitar. No encore is possible. Please cheer for the band to hear them in the dressing room, but they're gone. That's what's nice about this set. It is, introductions of songs, talking to the crowd, Pete actually asking the crowd to get into the concert. Hey, enjoy yourselves. Hey, clap. 35,000 people. And then to egg the crowd on. They're not the Who yet. Okay? They're not this institution called the Who yet. You have to keep in mind, this made the Who the legends they are today. This right. Yeah, what built up to this? Yes. But this is the classic. They've been doing farewell tours for 40 years, of course. But now it's more realistic. There's going to be a farewell tour. 7 of the 9 tunes are going to be played from Who's Next in the farewell tour. They're not going to play Get in Tune. They could have. My Wife is more a John Entwistle song. So with John being dead, okay, maybe leave out My Wife. But why My Wife is part of this set. A nice part of this set. But with that, John, not on the farewell tour set list so far. So that's the odd thing is, they play, the third and fourth song, My Wife is My Wife. The first song from this classic record is My Wife. Love Ain't for Keeping. Then they play I Can't Explain and Substitute. They're oldies but goodies from the early days. And then they play the three remaining songs together from Who's Next? Bargain, Behind Blue Eyes, and Won't Get Fooled Again. Of course it's great. But like I said, there's still 6 songs to go. Won't Get Fooled Again, Baba O'Reilly is the end of the concert sets. In the last, 50 years? Not then. They did not know quite what they had here. So yes, they're promoting the record, but it's like, the crowd's going to want to hear Bimbo Wizard more and See Me, Feel Me and Listening to You, which is a hell of a tune. It gets the feels in me. It does. Despite my remark about Anne Margaret gives me the feels in a different way. And My Generation follows it, and Naked Eye. Naked Eye is an Odds and Sods record later. And then they end the concert with Magic Bus, which is a stonking way to end a Who concert. It's Magic Bus, for Pete's sake. But, they can't get away with that nowadays, can they? You gotta play Won't Fooled Again or Baba O'Reilly at the end. Did not know what they had yet. That's what's curious. And there's only 5 songs from Live at Leeds, and this is only a year old at the time when they recorded this live concert. Okay? Only 5 songs from Live at Leeds. Summertime Blues, Forgive Me for Reading, My Generation, Magic Bus, I Can't Explain and Substitute. Those are the 5 songs. That's all they should. It is, I'm not an expert on Who live records. There's other live records out there. And I looked them up before doing this review. I just noticed there's a number. Okay? But I should think this set list is quite unique compared to other live records. I can be wrong. Plus, it's a bit ramshackle. Everyone's solo. That's what the classic Who is. You hear Trent Edwards' bass. You hear Moon's drumming. Moon the Loon. Oh boy. Report is he's using cricket bats for drumsticks during this performance. You got Mooney and Edwards as a rhythm section. That's a unique band right there. Let alone what you get with Daltrey as a singer and with Pete on guitar. That rhythm section made The Who a whole different animal for that period, or any period, when they were still alive through the 70s. You know, Moon's drumming, Mojo Nixon used the line, everyone solo. This band is the original everyone solo. They're together in a way, but boy, Ed Rizzle's rumbling along, doing his thing. Moon's doing his thing. And then, of course, Pete and Roger. That's a unique rhythm section. And you hear them in this set. And it is 15 songs, 1 hour, 16 minutes. Got a couple of songs kind of unique to this. The opening number is a premiere. Never been released before. So Glad to See You. I guess it's been used as opening track before, but never been released before officially. So you get to hear that. If you're a hardcore collector of The Who, you have to buy this to hear and own So Glad to See You as opening track. Also, they do Baby, Don't You Do It. Baby, Don't You Do It. And they tell you who performed the song before, but mostly it's a Marvin Gaye song. And they mess up the arithmetic. Because the song came out, at least the Marvin Gaye version of the song came out in 1964. And they're saying, oh, we performed this, 10 years ago at the Marquee. 7 years ago. From 1971. 1971 minus 64, 7 years. As long as they can count, they don't need math. They don't need arithmetic. As long as they can count. So that's a nice little number that maybe you don't have in other live records. And Naked Eye, I read, has been on live concerts before, but it really hasn't been on any record until Odds and Sods. So let me just tell you in order, just so you know. So Glad to See You is the opening track. Summertime Blues. Eddie Cochran song. Blue Cheer has done Summertime Blues too. My Wife. Love Ain't for Keeping. Those two songs from Who's Next. I Can't Explain and Substitute, which is from Live at Leeds. Bargain, Behind Blue Eyes, and Won't Get Fooled Again. That finishes their promotion for Who's Next. Then they explain the Marvin Gaye cover, or Elmo James and whoever else has done it. Baby, Don't You Do It. That's also as a bonus track on my copy, Who's Next. Then they do the two numbers from Tommy, Bimbo Rizzard, See Me, Feel Me, Listening to You. My Generation, Naked Eye, and Magic Bus. They destroy the drums and the guitar or whatever else. No encore. Thank you very much for coming. I listened to this more than 3 times in doing my errands today. And And like I said, I'm a casual Who fan. This can talk into being more than a casual Who fan when you hear it. It's a good set, it's a good performance, it's very authentic. You know, not one of those things where they're fixing it in the studio, wink, wink, you know, live, you know, not really. You know, no, this is an authentic live record. And I enjoyed it. I think you will too. If you're not familiar with The Who, it's a good place to start, actually. Ironically enough. A lot of people wouldn't suggest a live record or unpolished live record as a intro to a band. So if you're a young person and somehow you stumbled here, bless your heart, it's not the worst place to start. And of course, who's next? In Live at Leeds. That's those three, I say. Yeah, you can get the greatest hits collection. Sure you can. For my money, those three are the best introduction to The Who. If somehow you avoided classic rock in your young life, bless your heart if you did, if you have. Maybe keep it that way. Oh, I'm being wrong. Yeah, you should listen to some classic rock in your radio station in your life for a short period of time. Just to get it in your head and go, oh, that's what it is. And then expand from there. So, is that everything I gotta say about this record? Yeah, I think it is. Here on YouTube, live at the Oval. You like this video? Give it a like. Subscribe to the channel. Ring the notification bell. Listen. On YouTube Music, The Who, live at the Oval. Come back to our comment section and tell us what you think. Is what I'm saying authentic? You know, is as ramshackle. Is that how it's pronounced? Ramshackle? Yeah, I think so. Rumbling. Especially with Russell's bass. And I hope the sound was as good live as this recording is, because there were bootlegs of this thing. Of course they were. But it was never officially released. And this is the official release of this concert. They did a good job of mastering this one. I love the sound. I was listening on earphones. Great sound. And for the latest in action rock, garage rock, yeah, some punk too, and classic and legacy bands. Come back to Action Rock Corner. We'll have it for you. And remember, fresh music is as important as fresh food. You need fresh Who. This is fresh. Okay? Even some songs, like the first song, So Glad to See Ya. Never been released. This is the premiere right here. So you want to hear a Who song you never heard before? First track, off the bat. Thank you for watching. Fresh music is important. It's fresh food. And have fun with your music. And yes, The Who still working on improving themselves. The 35,000 people. And soon after, they became an institution. And a fine one at that. Even though, yeah, kind of a casual fan. Did I have a copy of its? I used to have a copy of It's Hard somewhere on vinyl. And a couple of others from the 80s. I'm done. Thank you for watching.